A reminder, Thursday night, the 2026 NFL schedule will be released. And here on Colts Talk, presented by PrizePicks, we will have all the coverage you need. What games are happening when and at what time? Be sure you know. Only way to do that, hit that sub button. Talking strength of schedule for the Indianapolis Colts, looking at the 2026 season for Indy. Look, if you're an analytics nerd, if you're a big picture person, this show is for both of you guys because we will talk numbers, but we will also get your opinion and others' opinions on the big picture for Indy. Talking about Warren Sharp's chart here, a strength of schedule. And look, Indy's in the green. That's a good start for Indianapolis. It's a lot of great news for Indianapolis looking at 2026. We'll break it all down as the schedule release is tomorrow night. Again, we've got you covered coverage-wise night of and the next day with some predictions. And, of course, we always want to hear from you guys on that. We've got Vegas win totals today. And, again, the Warren Sharp strength of schedule chart, which we'll break down and talk more about how that's kind of looked at and viewed. But first, a reminder, we do know who the Colts are playing in 2026. We just don't know when. That's the final part of the schedule release. Here's your home games, your division games: Cincinnati Bengals, Dallas Cowboys. That'll be nice to play in Indy. Miami, New York, and Baltimore. And I think New York's also a nice one to have at home. They're going to have a lot of momentum, a lot of good stuff for the season. So those are your home games. You do technically have more road games, in the 17-game season here. However, should be noted, Washington, that will be in London. I consider that a neutral game, and you also don't lose a home game to playing that game in London. So that should be noted. Another note, things to watch, is Kansas City going to be early or late? Patrick Mahomes, healthy, not early, healthy late. That one will be interesting to see as well. The Eagles, they're usually hot early, not as good late, so that'll be interesting to see there. And again, we don't know when the Colts had their bye week as of right now. So if you're saying to yourself, we already know the opponents, why does the schedule release matter? That's why it matters for different reasons added on, but those reasons as well. Now, the Vegas win totals, and again, these are in order of Warren Sharp's easiest schedules here, not by their win totals. So Lions have the easiest schedule in the NFL going into 2026. Saints, Bengals, Browns, like to see the Browns at 6.5 wins. They're coming into Indy. Feel like that's a good matchup for them there. Then you get to where are the Colts in all of the madness here. On Warren Sharp's chart, they have the 9th easiest schedule. And again, you want to be at number 1. That's good. Your schedule is easy according to the strength of schedule. So being at 9, top 10, right? Pretty good, especially from where you were. Actually, similar range last year, about 12. So you're actually kind of moving up, and we'll talk more about where the Colts stand after last season. But yeah, 8.5 wins predicted for Indy by the strength of schedule, or that's the Vegas win total, and 9th on the strength of schedule. Got to ask you guys, though, 8.5 wins for Indy? What are we looking at here? Make your prediction. Do you think they'll have more than 8.5 wins, 9+, or less than 8.5 wins, 8 or less wins in 2026? This is our pinned comment. Let us know down below. AFC, pretty accomplished. I think there's going to be a couple teams where the bounce of the ball is going to make the difference. The Mike Vrabel drama could make the difference, and a couple additions on the roster could make a difference. You look at some of these teams, especially in your division. I'm not a Jacksonville believer. I would go less, definitely on 9.5 wins, but you got to keep an eye on both the Jaguars and the Titans, I believe, are improved in general, but we'll see if that works out for them. Some other teams looking to make improvement. Couple more wins for the Raiders. Yeah, new quarterback, big free agency haul, so they'll look to make the difference there. Too high for Minnesota for me personally. A little chaotic over there. I don't see that one going smoothly in the 2026 season. Other Vegas win totals, the Chargers, who have the most salary cap, made a move for David Njoku. Let's see if they get the payoff from all those sort of things. And then the Giants, right, making a ton of changes with John Harbaugh and some other names in the mix for their team. So we'll see if the G-Men can turn it around in 2026 as well. Your Vegas win totals there. We're talking more or less. We're also talking PrizePicks, where we talk more or less as well. The PrizePicks app is a must-have right now because it is America's #1 sports picks app. The PrizePicks app is great because it's the best place to win cash while watching sports. As I said, we were just talking more or less. All you have to do on the lineups on PrizePicks is pick more or less on a few player stats, and then lock in your lineup. If you're a baseball fan, you can go hits, home run, strikeouts. Basketball playoffs are going on. Go points, rebounds, assists, blocks, or three-pointers. Speaking of which, producer Aiden Parise slapping together this lineup for us here. Field goals made for Donovan Mitchell, more assists for Evan Mobley, going more on that one. And Jalen Duren, not great lately. We're going less on the combined totals, points, rebounds, assists for him. And yeah, another example of a cool lineup you can put together, points, rebounds, assists, all on one name. And with the new social feeds feature, you can share PrizePicks with your friends, copy lineups with a single click. That includes me or producer AP. You follow us on PrizePicks, tailor fade our picks, and get them before they even get posted on the show at Billy_BB at CSAP. We also have a new user offer for you guys. Download the PrizePicks app today with the link in the comments and the description and use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Finishing out with the Vegas win totals, a couple more teams here. Dallas kind of caught right in the middle of the sharp chart, more towards the bottom actually. That's how it is for Dallas. Primetime games, tough opponents, tough division. Got to make it happen there. And the hardest schedule, according to the sharp chart or the strength of schedule chart that we're, again, going to dip more into in just a second. The Arizona Cardinals predicted 4.5 wins and really a tough schedule for them. And again, just how it shakes out sometimes. Opponents you land, division, right? The division's the biggest thing with Seattle, San Francisco, and LA. I feel like the Cardinals always have a tough one there. Now, I keep saying the same thing over and over again. You guys keep hearing it. Strength of schedule, strength of schedule, strength of schedule. Definitely the question or the discussion around today's show. Why do predicted win totals provide more accurate strength of schedule results? Why is Chat Sports, talking about this, the sharp chart, as I call it? A couple different shows have broken down something similar, whether their team's up for something good or bad. Now, the Colts, again, I think they're looking pretty good for the season. Warren Sharp on the process here and kind of what we're discussing in today's show in general. Projected win totals incorporate current information about team strength, including offseason acquisitions, injuries, and coaching changes. So we're factoring a little bit of everything in there. These projections are crafted by sportsbooks aiming to predict future performance, making them more reflective of a team's current capabilities. Should be noted too, while no SOS metric is perfect, using Vegas win totals provides a better indication of what teams could look like in the upcoming season than relying on the previous year's win. We know that certain teams will benefit from luck factors in games next season. Again, I talked about that earlier, the bounce of the ball, right? Injuries, things like that. Tipped passes, definitely noted here. But with current projected win totals, the pure luck factors that decide games are not incorporated. So again, you take a look at the sharp chart. Facts are facts. You want to be in the green? Colts are in the green. They are in that top 10 easiest schedules. Now, they are at 9th. Say what you want about that, but they are in the green. And there is a jump for the Lions, Saints, and Bengals there on the chart. And again, the Cardinals, it's really built in the division for the Cardinals. They have predicted to be the hardest strength of schedule going into 2026. 1 W for the Colts there, right? You love the idea that they're in the top 10 of the easiest schedules. They also, Sharp noted, they are having the strongest jump from a strong schedule last year to an easier schedule this year. They basically move up. This is what the actual strength of schedule ended up being in 2025. Really tough. They were in the top 5 hardest schedules by the end of 2025. Now in 2026, they're in the top 10 easiest. So you get 1 W there, right? It looks like the Colts are going to have a top 10 easiest schedule. That's 1 win. That's 1 good look. That's part of the great news for Indy as of right now. Another W, as I noted earlier, they will play the Commanders in London coming up in this next season. A little bit later into or beginning of October there. So that'll actually be week 4, October 4th, that they will head to London to take on the Commanders. Yes, that's an earlier game. I know some of you have your opinions on that, but hey, have a cup of coffee while you watch the Colts go at it with the Commanders. Should be noted, another W here. You don't lose a home game in this situation. That is a Commanders home game, sending them overseas to London. So that's a W. Is the Colts aren't losing, a home game, having to travel to, there's a Madrid game, there's the London game. So yes, that is a win as well. That'll be a road game. And if you think about it, that's not really a home game for the Commanders either. So at this point in time, yeah, it's a trip. It's tough. They schedule it pretty well around like bye weeks and stuff like that. They try to, or other travel arrangements. But that's essentially a neutral game. You just get a neutral game going to London and taking on the Commanders there. So I noted that as another W for the Colts. Not just the strength of schedule, but this first schedule leak with the idea that they don't lose a home game and they will play neutral ground when they take on the Commanders. We asked you for more or less on wins. Now I need exact numbers. Predict the Colts record in 2026. Let us know what you think. How many wins are they coming away with? Any extra predictions you want to add to it? Get down in the comment section below and go for it. All right, final thought on the Colts 2026 schedule is, again, we'll have full coverage for you over the next few days. What games, when, so on and so forth. I'm looking early in the season. That's what I'm looking for. And they usually try to put division games, at least one early. So we'll see who that is for the Colts. I will say, though, it'd be really nice if they could get an easy start. Daniel Jones is recovering. You're figuring some things out with your team as well. You don't necessarily, I expect Daniel Jones to play, but again, if he doesn't, then it's a different quarterback. All that. I think a hot start is key for this team, and I think having an easy schedule to start off would be super helpful.